Tomorrow night, once again, you're gonna see why I'm the best fighter in the world.
Ilia Topuria, a 25-year-old mixed martial artist and UFC champion, is a force to be reckoned with. However, every champion that has ever lived has someone in their league who's younger, more fierce and aggressive, hungrier for glory, and someone who's a threat to their reign. But the question here is, who will that someone be for Ilia Topuria? Will it be Alexander Volkanovski or Max Holloway? Do Diego Lopez or Yair Rodriguez have a chance? Not many fighters have a legitimate chance at dethroning Ilia Topuria. But let's take a look at some of these fighters and figure out who could possibly do it. As a champion, Ilia has carved out a legacy that's already catching the eyes of fans and analysts everywhere. But what is it that gives him the edge over others? Why do many fear facing him? Can someone actually beat him? Let's find out. What makes him undefeated? Before we even get into the details of all the times he's made his opponents question why they even entered the ring with him, let's talk about what makes him so good that he remains undefeated. First of all, his exceptional striking skills make him a great fighter. Remember when he knocked out Jay Herbert in 2022? Herbert was all cocky, claiming he's taller and he got this, and then boom, second round KO'd, leaving him facing the mat regretting his choices. Another example of this would be his most recent fight against Max Holloway, where he defended his UFC featherweight championship title and won when Ilia knocked his opponent out in the third round, claiming his 16th victory without defeat. Not joking when I say this. Ilia's fists have a greater knockout rate than your favorite TV show, where he doesn't just hit his opponents hard, he hits them smart. Each move calculated so it's practically impossible to outbox him. We've talked about his knockout skills, but his ability to grapple his opponents in a way where they have no option but to tap out, leading him to win by submission, is crazy. And what's even crazier is the fact that the first 7 fights of Ilia's career resulted in a win via submission. Apparently, his opponents couldn't take the guillotine choke or the rear naked choke and had to yield. To visualize this, let's revisit the Topuria vs. Mitchell fight in 2022, where an undefeated grappling wizard, Bryce Mitchell, faced the ferocious Ilia. Are you wondering what happened? Well, the moment Bryce went into grapple, Ilia was already 2 steps ahead and immediately turned him into a pretzel using the arm triangle choke, which led to a submission, and Ilia went in the fight while also claiming the Performance of the Night prize. This shows the insane powers this champion has. He can make you submit faster than you can even say the words, "I made a mistake." Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, or maybe Ilia will put you into a guillotine choke too.
Okay.
Moving on, another thing that makes this UFC featherweight champion undefeatable is his unwavering confidence, and rightfully so. If you participated in 16 bouts throughout your entire career and won them all, 8 of which are secured via submission, it would be stupid not to be as confident and cocky as he is. He could put Kanye West to shame, but with him, it's not all talk. Every time he gets into that ring, he proves it as well. If you take a look at his demeanor during the weigh-ins, he stands tall and calm, almost like he knows he's winning the fight long before they're even set to enter the ring. As he claimed during his weigh-ins against Holloway, where he stated he was going to show everyone why he's the best fighter in the world, and he showed the world exactly that.
Tomorrow night, once again, you're gonna see why I'm the best fighter in the world.
This type of mindset is what creates champions who remain undefeated. Let's talk about competition. We've discussed the many skills and traits that Ilia Topuria possesses that set him apart from everyone around him, but let's talk about those around him, his opponents. Is there anyone in the featherweight division at the moment who's capable of defeating this invincible force? 1. Alexander Volkanovski. Before Ilia Topuria, there was Alexander Volkanovski, the undefeated featherweight champion with 21 consecutive wins, ruling the division with an iron fist. Before Ilia defeated him, he was considered one of, if not the best, with his exceptional fight IQ and capability to mix both grappling and striking. And of course, his seemingly never-ending cardio sessions made him a nightmare to anyone who stood against him. However, when this nightmare faced the fierce Topuria, he faced what we could only categorize as a rude awakening. During their fight, Volk started off great, pulling all his signature moves, starting off with his body kick and using his takedown moves, but Ilia's takedown defense was as strong as a brick wall. Each moment the Volk struck, thinking he got the upper hand, Ilia would pull a move to prove him wrong. Despite the fact that Volk has out-wrestled some of the greatest names in the MMA world, when he faced Ilia, he found himself defenseless. This led to a 4-punch combo strike by Ilia that knocked the undefeated champion out cold. Even though he'd been knocked out and defeated, Volk claimed that he was willing to do a rematch in Spain. And there also have been some reports claiming there might be one coming sometime next year.
He keeps mentioning Spain. Maybe we'll do a rematch over there in Spain.
If we know anything about Volk, he doesn't give up. Maybe this time around he could come up with a better strategy. Or the fact that he's experienced what it's like being in the ring with Ilia, all the mistakes he made in the previous fight, he might not make him the next time around. However, it should also be noted that Ilia is ever evolving too. He could be an even better fighter with more skills by the time the rematch is scheduled, so you never know what might happen. A rematch would be interesting to watch. The questions arise whether Volk would be able to reclaim his throne, or would Ilia prove, once again, exactly why he's the future of the featherweight division. Number 2. Max Holloway. Can Ilia's most recently defeated opponent take him down? Before Holloway lost to Ilia, he was considered to outperform his opponents and was always the guy who would test the other fighter's limits. His fans were of the opinion that his high-volume striking would overwhelm Ilia and lead to Holloway's victory. Well, as we know now, that never happened. Their fight started off great, with both of them striking with equal speed and force. At one point, Holloway tried to outpace Ilia, and it seemed like a strategy was working. Until, well, it wasn't. Soon enough, Ilia began doubling down, and every time Holloway tried to pull a move, he was met with greater force. In the third round, Ilia hit with full force, knocking down his opponent and ending his terror in the featherweight division. Just like Volk, Holloway isn't backing down from a rematch, as he states, "I'll see you again, my friend."
He gave me the name Bounce Back, so I'll see you again, my friend.
Addressing Ilia after their fight. Here's the thing, Holloway's known for coming back stronger, and if he executes the perfect plan, he might just be able to defeat Ilia and rewrite the ending of that fight. 3. The rest of the division. We've talked about the possibility of Ilia's reign as the undefeated champion coming to an end at the hands of someone who he's already defeated, but what about the rest of the division? Fighters like Yair Rodriguez or Brian Ortega? Brian's submission technique can prove to be dangerous, and Yair's dazzling strike might just catch Ilia off guard. However, this is all just talk. At the end of the day, with the fights Ilia has conquered, it's difficult to imagine anyone else cracking the code to beat Ilia Topuria. Ilia doesn't just defeat these fighters, he makes beating them look inevitable. The combination of strength, accuracy, and grappling skills that he possesses makes him a nightmare opponent for anyone in the featherweight division. 4. Conor McGregor. Many MMA fans love to bring up Conor McGregor whenever the question of who can beat Ilia Topuria comes about. They claim that a prime McGregor could easily take down Ilia. Fans also love to compare the two, as they're very similar in terms of zeal towards the fight. Even though there were talks about a fight between the two, it's not a possibility at the moment since they belong to two separate divisions. And that's all I have for you today. If you liked the video, here are a few of my other MMA videos that might interest you. Do check them out. What are your thoughts on Ilia Topuria? Do you think there's anyone in the division currently that could defeat him? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, or Ilia will come after you to knock you out like he did Volk.